in pain after she caught that fingertip in the eye or right around it.
And kind of swatted at Caitlin. Did you intend to hit her in the eye?
I feel like I'm just at the point where you accept it and don't retaliate. Like, you know, just let them hit you, be what it is. Don't let it get inside your head and know it's coming. I think at this point, like, I know I'm going to take a couple hard shots a game. It is what it is, I guess. I don't know.
Caitlin Clark's entrance into the WNBA was met with massive anticipation. Fans and analysts alike expected the former college basketball phenom to elevate the women's professional game, and her star power certainly delivered immediate attention. What many did not expect, however, was the cold reception she would receive from league veterans. Instead of welcoming the rookie, Clark was met with relentless physical defense, dismissive comments, and even open taunting. While harsh treatment of rookies is nothing new in professional sports, everything surrounding Clark has been magnified, creating an unprecedented level of trash talk aimed at a first-year player. What her opponents are quickly discovering is that targeting Clark often comes at a cost. Time and again, players who have disrespected her find themselves victims of what looks very much like a revenge performance. Every deep three she drills over a defender who once mocked her sends a loud and unmistakable message. Caitlin Clark is not someone to provoke lightly. Her rapid adjustment to a faster, more physical style of basketball only strengthens the case that a true superstar is emerging. Although few doubt her offensive talent, questions about her toughness and ability to handle contact dominated early narratives about her rookie season. Rather than shrinking under the pressure, Clark became a focal point for opponents looking to make a statement. Even as her numbers reached historic levels, the physical play and trash talk continued. To her credit, she rarely appeared rattled. She remained composed in interviews, avoided public feuds, and increasingly stood her ground on the court when larger, more experienced players attempted to bully her. Her list of critics spans the entire league, from fellow rookies to aging stars, many of whom seem eager to challenge her reputation despite failing to back up their words when it matters most. One recurring pattern has emerged. Trash-talking a scorer as gifted and competitive as Caitlin Clark almost guarantees a scoring outburst. A prime example came during a regular season matchup between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky. Dana Evans, a fiery 5'6" guard known for her relentless energy, decided to make life difficult for the rookie. While physical defense is expected at the professional level, Evans crossed the line. On one play, she locked elbows with Clark and shoved her into another defender, Chindy Carter, resulting in a dangerous collision that left Clark momentarily crushed between two opponents. The exchange was heated, with words exchanged that microphones failed to capture. For many players, such an incident would be intimidating. For Clark, it became fuel. In the moments that followed, she responded the only way she knows how, by scoring repeatedly. Shot after shot found the bottom of the net, silencing the trash talk and swinging momentum in Indiana's favor. Rather than seeking revenge through physical confrontation, Clark let her performance speak for itself. The Chicago Sky's attempts to rattle her backfired, contributing to costly fouls and ultimately a Fever victory. Interestingly, Clark also draws criticism when she matches her opponent's physicality. Despite being labeled soft by some critics, she regularly absorbs contact and applies pressure on defense. A notable example occurred during a game against the Phoenix Mercury, when Clark committed a hard but routine foul on high-scoring wing Kalia Copper. Copper immediately reacted with visible anger, confronting Clark and engaging in heated trash talk. While the situation did not escalate into anything dangerous, it highlighted the double standard Clark often faces. What would be considered a smart, necessary foul by another player was suddenly labeled excessive when committed by her. Clark remained calm throughout the exchange, simply stating, "It was just a foul," before walking away. Instead of retaliating verbally or physically, she once again focused on the game. Her steady play down the stretch helped Indiana secure another home victory. When the Mercury attempted to mount a comeback, Clark dismantled their defense with poise, drawing double teams, making unselfish passes, and creating open shots for teammates. Her final assist of the night showcased her elite court vision and complete awareness of defensive rotations. Perhaps most surprising is that some of Clark's harshest treatment has come from veteran players who should know better. Las Vegas Aces guard Alicia Clark, a three-time WNBA champion and reigning sixth Woman of the Year, found herself on the wrong side of sportsmanship during a matchup against Indiana. At 37 years old, her decision to deliver a cheap shot to the rookie, striking Clark on the head, was both unnecessary and disappointing. The incident, caught on video, painted an unflattering picture of a seasoned champion seemingly threatened by a rising star.
The Fever getting their first win last night in Los Angeles. That's got to be pretty tough, I would think, on Caitlin to just...
Alicia Clark should be genuinely embarrassed by her behavior on the court. Not only did she commit a foul that has no place in the game, but her reaction afterward made it even worse. Instead of owning up to the contact, she stormed away in frustration, seemingly trying to sell the idea that the block was clean. That claim simply doesn't hold up. The replay clearly shows Caitlin Clark's head snapping back on impact, making it impossible for Alicia not to realize she made contact. Acting shocked and outraged by the referee's whistle felt disingenuous and, frankly, more in line with how an inexperienced rookie might react, not a decorated veteran with a trophy case full of hardware. It's difficult not to wonder whether she would have responded the same way if any other player had been on the receiving end of that hit. Given the underlying hostility toward Caitlin Clark around the league, it seems unlikely. Rather than taking responsibility, Alicia chose indignation. In contrast, Caitlin Clark once again showed maturity well beyond her years. As seen in the clip, she simply checked to make sure her eye was fine, joined her teammates in the huddle, and prepared to continue the game. No theatrics, no confrontation. From that moment on, Caitlin wasn't trying to act tough or draw attention to the incident. She absorbed the foul, moved on, and let her play do the talking. In fact, the contact appeared to sharpen her focus. After a relatively quiet start, she raised her intensity and began scoring with far greater efficiency. What was meant to disrupt her rhythm ended up doing the opposite, as she closed out the game against the Aces looking locked in and in complete control.
Play if they're going to pull the upset here. Watch this screen, and then a nice pocket pass.
Clark once again put her full offensive arsenal on display, mixing pinpoint passes with her trademark deep-range shooting. She recorded yet another double-double, finishing with 13 points and 11 assists. While the scoring total fell slightly below her usual standard, it wasn't enough to prevent a loss against a powerful Las Vegas Aces squad, currently second in the Western Conference and led by reigning MVP Aya Wilson. For that reason, it's fair to say Caitlin Clark hasn't fully avenged the foul just yet. Another team that chose to test Clark's composure was the Seattle Storm, and they quickly paid the price for that decision. In a matchup against the Indiana Fever, multiple Storm players resorted to overly physical, borderline reckless tactics in a desperate attempt to disrupt Clark's rhythm. One incident in particular crossed a line that wouldn't be acceptable even in a casual pickup game, let alone a nationally televised professional contest. Storm shooting guard Victoria Vivians, who played for the Fever just last season, clearly took exception to Clark's scoring outburst. After yet another deep three from Clark, Vivians began jawing at her as the two jogged back on defense, creating a scene that was as unnecessary as it was unsightly.
We might need to update the graphic.
The situation could have escalated even further if not for Vivian's teammates, who quickly stepped in to separate her from Clark and defuse the tension. The home crowd at Gainbridge Fieldhouse erupted in response to the obvious attempt to rattle their local hero, but the emotions eventually settled. One person who never appeared rattled was Caitlin Clark herself. She calmly walked away from the chaos and went straight to her coach, showing once again that her composure often outpaces that of her opponents. Because the incident occurred in the second quarter with Seattle holding a 6-point lead, there was still plenty of time for Clark to regroup and rally her team. She did exactly that, and in spectacular fashion. From that moment on, the game swung heavily in Indiana's favor and became increasingly one-sided. Clark took complete control, attacking the rim, launching shots from well beyond the three-point line, and even making clever defensive reads that led to steals. By the final buzzer, Clark had compiled 23 points and 9 assists. In stark contrast, Vivians finished with 0 points in 9 minutes of play. More importantly, the Fever cruised to a nearly 20-point victory despite entering the matchup well below Seattle in the standings. While the first half was tightly contested, the outcome was never truly in doubt once Clark flipped the switch and put the team on her back. That performance alone should serve as a warning to Storm players about trying to get inside Caitlin Clark's head. Whether that lesson sticks remains to be seen. With the two teams playing in different conferences and no regular season meetings left, their next encounter likely won't come until next year. Another prominent voice who has weighed in on Clark's arrival is Diana Taurasi, one of the most accomplished players in women's basketball history. A legendary guard with 3 WNBA championships and an MVP award, Taurasi undoubtedly has the credentials to speak on the state of the game. Still, it's hard to ignore that she is nearing the end of her remarkable career. While skepticism toward a heavily hyped rookie class is understandable, the tone Taurasi adopted didn't quite align with her current on-court impact. Here's how she addressed the arrival of Caitlin Clark during her preseason media appearances.
Reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
While Diana Taurasi's comments didn't come across as outright malicious, they did reflect a strong confidence that she still stood clearly above the highly touted rookie. That may have been a fair claim a decade ago, when Taurasi was firmly in her prime, but at 42 years old, she is no longer in a position to hand out reality checks to the league's rising stars. The disconnect between perception and reality became impossible to ignore once Taurasi and Caitlin Clark finally shared the court in their first official WNBA matchup a few months later. When the moment arrived, it didn't unfold as many had expected. Clark put on a masterclass in a convincing Indiana Fever victory, narrowly missing a triple-double with 15 points, 12 assists and 9 rebounds. Taurasi finished with 19 points for the Phoenix Mercury, but her scoring was not enough to change the outcome, and the loss spoke louder than any preseason soundbite. Clark's performance highlighted her maturity and basketball IQ. Rather than getting drawn into a personal duel, she consistently punished defensive overreactions by finding open teammates and keeping the offense flowing. While Phoenix has had its moments of friction with Clark, no team has shown more sustained hostility toward her than the Chicago Sky. Several Sky players have willingly embraced the role of antagonist in this ongoing psychological battle. Chief among them is Chindi Carter, a physical and confrontational guard who often serves as the team's on-court enforcer. Although Carter is undeniably talented, her reputation is frequently shaped more by her behavior than her skill, as her aggressive tendencies have repeatedly landed her in the headlines. The most notorious example came in the form of a flagrant foul against Caitlin Clark during a dead ball, an incident that remains one of the clearest displays of unsportsmanlike conduct directed at the rookie. It's a moment that continues to be discussed, and for good reason. Let's revisit that infamous clip once more.
The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
The incident occurred immediately after Caitlin Clark drilled a big three-pointer, making Chindi Carter's frustration painfully obvious. Unfortunately, she chose a terrible way to express it. What followed wasn't a basketball play by any reasonable standard and can't be justified through normal on-court logic. It looked like a deliberate attempt at physical intimidation, something that has become increasingly rare in modern basketball, whether in the men's or women's game. The officials correctly assessed a flagrant foul, giving Clark free throws and directly hurting Carter's own team. In the end, the Chicago Sky lost the game and were later swept 3-0 by the Fever in the season series, making it clear that Carter's effort to knock Clark out of rhythm completely backfired. Although Carter struck a relatively calm and diplomatic tone in her post-game comments and denied harboring any personal animosity toward Clark, the video told a different story. The shove quickly earned her the label of a Caitlin Clark hater across social media. A more self-aware player might have laid low afterward, but emotional control has never been Carter's strong suit. Months later, she reignited the controversy with another questionable decision, this time off the court. When ESPN released its list of the top WNBA players and ranked Caitlin Clark well ahead of her, Carter took to social media with a bitter response. "I average fewer minutes and my stats are top in the league, but I'm at the bottom. This isn't adding up. The hate is so obvious," she wrote on her official account. While she didn't mention Clark by name, the implication was obvious. The claim itself didn't hold up under scrutiny. At the time, Carter was averaging 16, 9 points, 8 assists and 1.4 steals per game. Clark, meanwhile, was posting 17, 9 points, a league-leading 8, 3 assists and the same 1.4 steals. Based on production alone, ESPN was fully justified in ranking Clark higher, not to mention several other stars near the top of the list. Despite Carter's resentment, she isn't even Caitlin Clark's most prominent adversary on the Sky. That distinction belongs to Angel Reese, whose rivalry with Clark dates back to their college days. With both players competing for the Rookie of the Year award, their long-running tension has only intensified, adding another dramatic chapter to a saga that's been unfolding for years. To Reese's credit, she has been more upfront about her trash talk and rivalry, and she generally handles media questions with greater polish. In fact, she recently offered a revealing comment about where she believes the line should be drawn when it comes to on-court trash talk.
And like they think it's personal, but when I get between the lines, if friends or anything, if my teammate right here went to play for another team, I'm going to be competitive. I'm going to talk trash to her just because I'm super competitive, and that's what we do. But off the court, we're going to kick in and have fun. So I think that's a part of the game, and just trying to normalize like trash talking is okay, but not taking it personal off the court. And obviously that has become a thing, and people are just trying to make it seem like it's something. But I love Caitlin, and I love her game, and I admire.
That explanation might have made some sense if it had stopped at trash talk, but it didn't. During a game against Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese committed a flagrant foul that ignited a media firestorm of epic proportions. While the contact technically occurred within the flow of the game, it resulted in yet another blow to Clark's head. The replay shows exactly how the play unfolded, allowing viewers to decide for themselves whether it was simply reckless or influenced by lingering resentment toward the Indiana guard. As has become routine, Caitlin showed little reaction, adjusting her headband, high-fiving her coach, and carrying on as if nothing had happened. Still, it's fair to wonder whether Clark quietly took note. When the Fever faced the Chicago Sky again, she approached the matchup with noticeable urgency. The result was a near triple-double, 23 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds in a Fever victory. It was the kind of response that has become a pattern whenever opponents attempt to rattle her. Watching the highlights makes one thing clear: trash-talking Caitlin Clark rarely ends well. Clark has ice in her veins. She doesn't dwell on insults or physical hits, nor does she waste energy responding verbally. Instead, she lets her game do the talking. Time and again, she has exposed her critics and silenced doubters without ever saying a word, relying solely on her basketball intelligence and competitive fire. Despite her proven ability to rise above provocation, Clark will likely continue to face moments like these. That's simply the reality of being a high-profile star. Still, her method for dealing with adversity couldn't be more effective. As long as she keeps knocking down impossible shots and leading her team to big wins, the message will eventually sink in. Opponents will learn, often the hard way, that trying to provoke Caitlin Clark is a dangerous game.